Is in you, God, my strength is in you, God, my hope is in you, God, in you. Jesus, my life is in you, God, my strength is in you, God, my hope is in you, God, in
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Get this thing up right here. I'd like to welcome everybody here this morning to the sanctuary and on the internet. Is there anybody with us that's here for the first time? Looks like it's all of us, just good friends. I'd like to introduce this morning our one-man reader, which is going to be Ann Dieter. And our musician today is Joy Truskowski. And our opening hymn is number 75, and they'll know and believe it is.
What verse?
All three verses, Rick? All three?
All three verses.
All right.
This reading is a little bit different than I've ever read before. I debated about reading it, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. I still find each day too short for all the thoughts I want to think, all the walks I want to take, all the books I want to read, and all the friends I want to see. John Burroughs. Have you ever observed squirrels in your backyard or a nearby park? With their boundless energy, they seem to be on a never-ending mission of joyous union with life. They scurry up and down tree trunks, hang from branches, leap gracefully from treetop to treetop, and then jump down to the ground. There they locate nuts and other edibles, and either bury them as a dog would bury a bone for future snacking, or furiously nibble at the food. Sometimes in mid-meal, they dart off once again, this time perhaps to greet another squirrel, roll playfully around on the grass together, then chase each other around and around the base of a tree trunk. Squirrels are like individualized packets of joy. Everything they do seems to give them pleasure. Walking across telephone wires like circus acrobats, jumping from tree to tree, wiggling their noses, scampering about, and swishing their long bushy tails. What the squirrel seems to capture is a joy of life, a happiness in being alive and having many enjoyable things to do from the moment they wake up to the moment they need to rest. From this moment on, decide to be like a squirrel. Don't take yourself or your life too seriously. Instead, think about all the things you'd like to do. Pick one and then do it. Did I laugh today? Did I take time out to play? Did I enjoy my meals, the company I kept, and the things I did? At the end of every day, I'll strive to see my life as an adventure and enjoy every part of it.
This is the time of service when we go back to the Bible and start mining the wonderful things that are there to read, to hear, to live, to experience. And this is from John 8:32. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Ringing words, wonderful words. But what do they mean? What is the truth that will make us free? Well, the truth is that we think that we are. That's the basic truth of life. I am. My existence is. That's the one thing we know when we don't know anything else. But that I am within us, in fact, is attached to I am that I am. That is truth. That we are part of something infinitely greater, infinitely more loving, wise, understanding, peaceful, joyful than we are, at least as we know ourselves, as we know I am right now. The truth. In time we discover that the truth is that God is within. God is omnipresent. And that's the basis of our philosophy in life. It's the basis of what we think about, we teach on a regular basis, what we try to live, what we try to remember on an ongoing basis. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Just knowing that I am doesn't free us. But knowing that God is, that He is the I am that I am, frees us. It enables us to move out in the world in a way that we might not have had courage to do before. Omnipresence is a freeing thing, because if God is everywhere, then good is everywhere as well. Good is within us. Good is in the midst of our lives, in our work and in our play, in our homes, and the drudgy things that we have to do, clean the floors occasionally and do the washing, whatever. God is there. And as we interact with the people around us, sometimes it's hard to, but we've got to keep remembering that God is right there as well. Right there. The truth will make us free. It frees us up internally to be what we are, which is children of God, the image of God. And certainly, as we come to know the law, that as we sow, we will also reap. That too frees us. It shows us the boundaries. It shows us the path that we have to walk in our interaction with ourselves and with our friends, with people we work with, and on and on. It frees us to know that, because we must do to them what we want done. That's truth. That's truth. I am. And I am that I am is this infinite presence of love. A presence that knows us and will interact with us on an ongoing basis of beauty and truth and love and understanding. And so we give thanks for that. We do. The Bible's got it. It's got it. Not everywhere, understandably, but here and there and over and over and over again. Right there. And I'm so glad I shared that with you today. Shall we say our divine science statement of being? You'll find it in your orders of service. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God, and am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a song I wrote. It's called Not Gonna Bother. And it's about not bothering with the petty things when you realize the truth inside you and around us. I'm not gonna bother getting mad. I'm not gonna bother getting mad. I get all caught up in my pride, and that mad just eats me up inside. I'm not gonna bother getting mad. I'm not gonna bother blaming you. I'm not gonna bother blaming you. Feels so good to blame someone else, but I've plenty of blame for myself. I'm not gonna bother blaming you. I'm not gonna bother feeling blue. I'm not gonna bother starting no fight. I'm not gonna bother starting no fight. We hurt each other with all our might and then find out nobody's right. I'm not gonna bother starting no fight now. I'm not gonna bother with what you think. I'm not gonna bother with what you think. Spend my life pleasing everyone and never get a darn thing done. I'm not gonna bother with what you think. So I'm just gonna go and live my life. I'm just gonna go and live my life. I'm just gonna love what I do and hopefully help some people too. I'm just gonna go.
Time for our healing meditation. Again, if at no other time, on Sunday morning, we get still and just be. So let's take a deep breath and let it out very, very slowly. And as we exhale, we try to relax the body, the face, shoulders, arms, hands, the rest of the body. And feel that place. Retreat to that place of quiet and silence, of peace, in that space of harmony, balance, and healing within us. That place where we feel the presence of God. We feel the presence of something so incredibly great. Something that fills the whole universe and beyond. All power, all wisdom, all love, all joy, all creativity, all good. And we commune with that. We spend, if only a few moments, acknowledging that presence, basking in that warmth, being assured that all is well. All is well, behind the chaos, behind the discomfort, behind the fear. behind the look of things. There I am that I am. There is the presence of God within everything, everywhere. Oh, that assurance. Striving for that certainty because it is worth striving for. Right there. We make our home, our mental, emotional, spiritual home. And we can know that the more we spend time there, the more we know that truth, omnipresence, the goodness, the order, the plan, the joy, the right action of God Himself right where we are. The easier life is, the more harmonious it is, the more peaceful and inwardly assured it is. This day, in our time of meditation, we include all the people who are on our Valley Community Church prayer list. Loved ones, friends, neighbors, co-workers, just people we know casually, strangers, are all included in this circle of knowing the truth. Oh, what a relief it is. All is all right. All is all right. Doesn't matter whether it looks it or feels it. It is all right. There is reason for it. There is purpose in it. There is glory in it that we do not see, we do not know. And we make our home in that truth, on that rock. In the 90 seconds of silence that we will have in just a few moments, let us make our home on that rock, knowing that all is well. All is well. God reigns. God's plan unfolds in its own perfect way and time. God's good is omnipresent, just as He is omnipresent. That all is unfolding as it should. There is reason, purpose, there is rightness somewhere within it. In the next few moments, let us give thanks that we know where the rock is, that we can make our home on it, that we can dwell there, whether things are fine or if things are not so fine. Right here, right now. Give thanks. Come unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. We stand on that rock that Jesus spoke of, and the winds blow sometime, and the storms rage at other times. But we need never fear. Behind the storm, behind the wind, we are safe, all is well. God is right where we are and right where they are. Oh, thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, that it is so. Amen.
Amen.
Shall we say the Lord's Prayer? The Aramaic positive Lord's Prayer. Our
Our
Father,
Father,
which art in heaven, hallowed is thy name. Thy kingdom is come, thy will is done on earth as it is in heaven. Thou givest us this day our daily bread. Thou forgivest us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Thou leadest us not into temptation, but dost deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Well, this morning I'm going to be talking about we are beings of light. I cannot tell you how many times my husband has said to me, why don't you just use one of your old sermons instead of, trying to write something new? They're perfectly good ones. You use them. Use them. And actually, I've heard ministers discuss how long you should wait until you reuse the old sermons. But my thinking is a little different. What I would always tell my husband is, that's where I was, mentally and spiritually. Right now, I'm in a different place. I need to talk about where my understanding, where my interest, where my consciousness is right now. But today, I'm going to break my rule just a little. Some, not completely. I talked about Fritz Albert Popp about 10 years ago. I ran into an old sermon and I thought, you know, that's some good stuff. And at the time, I found his research pretty amazing, and it still is pretty darn amazing. Do any of you remember that old talk about you do? Okay, Dr. Popp. Okay, for some of you it's brand new. Our older, those who have been long-term members of this church probably do, and but it's still fascinating. It's still good stuff. In college, Fritz Albert Popp was one of those enviable people who seemed just to have it all. He had it all. He was good-looking, with a square jaw and steely blue eyes. He was the best fencer on campus at the University of Würzburg in Germany, which, of course, back in the 70s was the equivalent of being the quarterback on a successful football team, best fencer on campus. But most of all, he was a brilliant student. He was, at the same time, a very serious scientist as well. As an undergraduate student, he built a small particle accelerator, and he won the Roentgen Prize for physics. He was awarded his PhD in theoretical physics in record time. And most people took maybe 5 years to qualify for a teaching position, but Popp became the professor of physics at Marburg University in Germany in a little over 2 years. He was climbing the ladder of success. It was a blur. He was going so fast. Success on a success on success. Well, Professor Popp had been fascinated with the behavior of light from being in undergraduate days, but specifically on the effect of electromagnetic radiation, which is light, on living systems. How does light affect a living system? His research led him to realize that it was connected with a well-known phenomenon that was known as photo repair. Biologists knew about this for a long time, but what is photo repair? These biologists long ago discovered that you could blast a cell with UV light so that 99% of that cell, including its DNA, is totally destroyed. But you can almost entirely repair the damage in 1 day to that cell just by illuminating it with the same wavelength of light, but at a very weak intensity instead of a very high intensity, very weak intensity. You can repair the whole thing. And Popp came to the conclusion that this must be happening in the body. That's how the body heals itself. The body is producing light within itself. Well, he was ecstatic about this idea. He was just thrilled to death about it. And he wrote a paper about it. And it was written up in a very prestigious magazine, not a journal, scientific journal. And when it came out, well, the idea was laughed to scorn. The body had light within it. It was a preposterous idea. Crazy. That was a real shock. This man who was accustomed to success after success after success, and only success, crashed and burned with this article. Well, not very long after that crashed to the earth, a young man by the name Bernhard Ruth, or rather Ruth, R-U-T-H, Ruth, approached Popp, and he wanted him to supervise his work for a PhD dissertation. And so Pop said, sure, he could get his PhD. All he had to do was prove that there was light in the body. Well, Ruth wasn't part of the bunch that thought, crazy idea. But Ruth turned out to be an excellent experimental physicist. And within 2 years, he built a machine that had a very sensitive photomultiplier in it. It was able to count light photon by photon. What is a photon? Well, a photon is the smallest elementary unit of electromagnetic energy, or light. It's the smallest elementary unit of light. So, the thing was built. Ruth and Pop started testing. They tested cucumber and potato seedlings, and they found that seedlings gave off an enormous amount of light in this small chamber. Well, to make a very long scientific story short, Ruth got his PhD, and Pop continued his studies, but this time with this photomultiplier box. What he found was that all living things emitted a permanent current of photons. And he came to the conclusion that photons were actually produced in the DNA of the organism. Interestingly, he compared the light from free-range eggs with those that came from penned-in or caged hens. And he found that the photons from the free-range eggs was far more coherent, more organized than that of caged eggs. Interesting, isn't it? Then he started experimenting with human beings. He found that healthy people gave off highly organized light, but sick people gave off disorganized light. Now, he might have been laughed to scorn at first, but I tell you, over time, physicists around the world started studying light and studying its role in the body. And they have found that the light in the body keeps order in the body, and it transmits information in the organism within and between cells. I really believe that Dr. Pop's work will eventually have an enormous impact on new methods of healing people, healing disease. He said, and this is a quote, "The function of the entire metabolism is dependent on light." Your whole metabolism, that's what he's saying. Dr. Pop is the founder of an International Institute of Biophysics. And that's a group of 15 universities and government research institutes around the world that are studying the role of light and the light in the body and its effect on healing. She's a great deal. And finally, this is one wonderful quote. He emphatically declares, and scientists around the world agree with him, quote, "We know today that man essentially is a being of light." Unquote. Now, so my talk today is entitled, "We are beings of light." And of course, you just heard about a man who has based his whole life work on this scientific truth. We are beings of light. But it isn't just a recent scientific discovered truth. Oh no. It's also, and more importantly, an ancient spiritual truth. Jesus said in Matthew 5:14, "Ye are the light of the world." So long before him, though, Isaiah, the prophet, said, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee." And a couple of hundred years after Jesus, the Greek philosopher Plotinus said, we are not cut off or severed from the light. That is the one without which nothing could exist. But we breathe and consist in it, since it, light, is what it is. So Titus 2 is talking about this same thing. Now, some of the metaphysical meanings of light are, and you know this, wisdom, of course, knowledge, truth, understanding. And so Jesus is saying that we all have these qualities. Ye are the light of the world, of your world. You are the light. And then he continued in the same passage in Matthew. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. So, these qualities that are part of our very being because we were made in God's image, they must never remain unexplored or just potential within us. They have to be expressed. They have to be expressed. They are within us to be expressed. They need to take the form of good works. We have to start stepping out, if we haven't before, and give those things, share those things in which we have wisdom and understanding. They could be things of practical knowledge, experience, like maybe something that you know very well and can share with another person. Or they might just be words of spiritual truth, like reminding somebody of the importance of following the golden rule, or saying to them, you reap what you sow. I don't have to tell you how and when to do this because intuitively you know when. If you make the effort, you will definitely be led. We also need to exercise that same light of wisdom and understanding, knowledge as regards ourselves by doing those things physically and mentally and spiritually that benefit and bless us, strengthen us. Arise, shine, said Isaiah. The glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. In other words, right now, each one of us can shine right where we are. Right where we are. Bringing blessing to others, and of course, reaping blessings in return when we shine out the glory of the Lord. When we shine out just the light of kindness, of understanding, of peace toward other people. I would like you to try something with me right now. I would ask you to please close your eyes. And take a deep breath and still yourself. And for a moment realize that the DNA in every cell in your body is creating light right this second that both fills you and radiates out around you. Feel the gentle energy of the light within you. Remember with me the words in 1 John. God is light. God is the ultimate wisdom, knowledge, truth, understanding. And far more than just a physical light, he fills you right now with the light of his very presence. His good, his healing life force, his peace, abundance, and especially his unconditional love. Say silently to yourself, I glow with an inner light. It is a central part of my physical being. Say silently to yourself, I also glow with a spiritual light. Because I am forever one with God. Ever one with God. Isaiah said, the Lord shall be to thee an everlasting light. Say this silently to yourself. The Lord shall be to me an everlasting light. The Lord shall be to me an everlasting light. Every time I think of him, greater light will fill me. I am God's own. Amen.
I love how various spiritual traditions overlap. What you said reminded me of when I took Tibetan Buddhist meditation classes, and one of the meditations was shining your light forth on the entire world to give love and healing energy to everyone. And I had a positive affirmation every morning, and it was, I am a lighthouse fueled by the gasoline of love. I had the same dilemma with looking at my song list that I play here so often. I looked at all my songs. I've played every
every single one of my songs at Valley Church. Some of them twice. But this one I haven't played, and this is a song that I've learned because I asked my boyfriend's 9-year-old daughter, what song should I learn? And she told me this one. And I realized this has a really good message, and it's about speaking out for what you believe in and shining your heart. So you probably know this song. You probably heard it on the radio, so feel free to sing along. Whoa. That's very reverby. I'll change that. Judy Pierce.
Now it's time for the blessing and the gifts. Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept His will, His abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God.
You don't have too
Do
many.
you need me or?
There's the paper in the basket, but for those of you who would like to partake, we invite you to bless yourself by taking one of these and holding them in prayer throughout this week. What you do for others, you do for yourself. And no one is required to do this, but if you wish, we invite you to take part.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is still morning, yay. Oh, I guess, yes. Important things first, birthday Sunday. June birthdays, Wanda, Grace, and Sylvia. And is Wanda here? She's downstairs? Okay. Wanda and Grace are here, so we will see. Does anybody else have a June birthday that we don't know about? Okay. Join us next door for birthday cake. I know you don't like it, but I made Wanda, so don't go over there.
What'd you make?
I'm not coming. Monday night class continues tomorrow night. We're watching the National Geographical series. Tomorrow night's video will be Why Does Evil Exist? Everybody's welcome. The videos are usually about, 55 minutes, and then we have a discussion that sometimes lasts an hour, sometimes 2 hours or longer. So anyhow, feel free to come and enjoy it. We have a really good discussion with these classes. Also, Maurita is starting the Old Testament class this Wednesday night from 5 to 7 p.m. So if you're going to sign up for that class, I guess you need to see her. She disappeared. So meditation after that will be at 7 p.m. Did you want to say anything about the Old Testament class?
Okay, say something.
Okay, say.
We're going to have an Old Testament class that's going to start on Wednesday at 5 p.m., 5 to 7 p.m. And the prerequisite for it, of course, is having taken the Divine Science Fundamentals class. And I invite you to speak to me about it so that we can have sufficient numbers of lessons available to everyone. And this is a brand new class. It's hot off the presses, as a matter of fact. I just got it over the weekend, the last few days. Some members of the Divine Science School have made the Old Testament class a much more metaphysical class. So you see the meaning behind the wonderful stories in the Old Testament. So I think it might be of interest to a number of people. And please speak to me afterwards, as I say, so that we can have sufficient of the lessons available to everybody. And I also want to mention one more thing, and that was that we slid right over May. And May is Federation Month. You are invited to become a member of the Divine Science Federation. And the Federation is the umbrella organization over all the Divine Science churches in the country, in the world for that matter. There are some out of the country. They are the ones that print the books. They're the ones who field the questions, who send out bulletins, lists of meditations. You can go to the website and become, available to, or they will make available to you, I should say, daily meditations that are very uplifting. It's a valuable organization. It holds divine science together. So if you want to talk to me about that, I invite you to do so. And it's an important thing to support our parent organization. Now I'll be quiet.
Okay, let's see, I encourage you to take the orders of service home. They have the events that are going on. The first one will be this coming Saturday. We're going to go on a hike. We've already changed where we're going. So, as we've said all along, these things are subject to change. But we were going to go to Carvin's Cove, but we felt like some people couldn't do that hike. So we're going to go back to the Greenway, and we're going to do another part of the Greenway. We're going to meet at Black Dog Salvage at 10 o'clock, and if you want to meet at the church at 9:45, Kate will be here to take you over there if you don't know where it is or if you need a ride. And we'll walk probably to the hospital and back, which will be about 4 miles round trip.
Yeah.
And then we're going to eat at the Green Goat for lunch.
No snakes there.
Yeah, no snakes there. So that's what we're going to do this Saturday. Then we've got a dinner coming up, but also at the end of the month, we're going to do the Virginia Creeper Bike Trail again that we did last year. When do we need to know, because you'll have to make reservations for that?
Probably a week in advance.
Okay,
So when's our date for that?
the 25th.
So by, I don't have a calendar in front of me.
But probably by the
Not this Sunday, but the next Sunday.
Okay, all right.
2 Sundays, if you want to go, let me know and I'll make reservations.
Yeah, because that was a really good trip. We really enjoyed it. The weather was great, and it's all downhill, so it's not a lot of strenuous work. So just let us know if you want to go. So it'll be a fun day, but you'll be gone most of the day. So like I said, feel free to take these home. The flowers this week are sponsored by Kate for her dad's anniversary. Thank you, Kate. And lastly, as you know, a couple weeks ago, Bob, one of our trustees, gave a presentation on what they found out from the lawyer. We gave everybody an opportunity to listen to the tape if they wanted to from where he talked and called, asked the trustees questions. So this week and next week, we're going to vote on whether you all want to move forward with their suggestions. So if you're here today and you want to vote, go ahead and do so. If you have questions for the trustees, all 3 of them are here. You can either ask them now if you want to, or you can ask them after the meeting, after the service. But anyhow, we'll vote this week and next week on whether you want to move forward on that. Did you have a question?
No, I have something to do though.
Oh, okay. So if anybody has a question right now that they want to ask Bob or Gil or Doug, if not, you can talk to them afterwards. But everybody that was here that day seemed to be ready for that decision to be made, and they like the idea. So anyhow, we'll give them a couple weeks to go on it, and then we'll move on. Thank you.
Are we going to have ballots today?
Yes? They're right up there, at the box.
Okay, thank you.
Well, if Reverend Belma will come to the front of the room, we have the great pleasure of awarding 2 certificates of completion to people who have completed the Divine Science Fundamentals class. And they are Doug Watts and Bob Brooks. If they will come to the front of the room. Okay, congratulations. God bless you.
I'm just gonna hug. Congratulations, Bob.
And here's one for you. Congratulations to you both. They worked hard. They worked so hard.
All right, our closing hymn is number 98, You Are Mine, and that will be verses 1 and 2. Please stand when you find it.